there are many players within Spurs dressing room that are right up Mourinho's wheelhouse. Many of those players, some of those names that he called, are out of contract in less than a year's time and will be looking for exits themselves. Also, the other players who are there, and they're more valuable assets, have gone to no short length in praising Mauricio Pochettino on social media at the very least. And you can understand if things don't go swimmingly well, certainly in the short term, the likes of Harry Kane and Dele Alli and Son will be questioning the loyalty or their loyalty to this club, who have shown no loyalty to a manager they quite clearly thought very highly of. And again, as much as we're talking about Jose Mourinho as a winner, and yes, at the early part of his career, without question. The middle part of his career, without question. But the difference between Pochettino and Mourinho, say Mourinho's time at Manchester United, is a Carabao Cup and a Europa League. So if we say the difference between Mourinho and Pochettino at this point is that Spurs haven't finished third in their group in the Champions League, to get knocked down to the Europa League is where it all come unstuck for Pochettino, that his feeling was qualifying for the group stage of the Champions League, then that's a ridiculous parallel to draw.
Where have Tottenham? Is that where Tottenham want to be? Is that what Daniel Levy wants? He doesn't care as long as it's trophies, whether it's the Carabao Cup or the Europa League. Because if that's where he thinks they are, this is a great appointment. Because, as you say, he knows how to win trophies. So go all out. Win your Carabao Cup.
Here's the other amazing thing to me. If you go to any of the big clubs who we can speculate or have speculated about their managers in recent times, whether it's a Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or Manchester United, and say to them, Pochettino, Mourinho. Right. Between those three, they all take Pochettino. Yet Spurs are the ones who decided, nah, we'll go different. I don't understand.
Well, I got to tell you, and I think it's fair to say that the brand of Mourinho has been devalued over the last few seasons. And he is not what he was early on. And so if he came in and he was innovative and excitable and people and the players respond to him in the way that they did earlier in his career, then I say, yeah, I'm all for it. But there is a reason as to why this guy was out of a job. He was asked to leave. He was asked to leave twice. He said, no, look, we'd rather go with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who we do not know whether he can do a job or not, because right now it's miserable to have you around. How has that changed? Are we then suggesting that, okay, months later he has taken an inner look and look at a look in the mirror and say, you know what? Yes, I have changed now. I have a new appreciation for the job, a new appreciation for the responsibility. And yes, it wasn't my fault, it was everybody else. Come on.
This is the rhetoric, isn't it, Mark? We're hearing, you know, he's had a rest, he's had a break, he's managed to de-stress, he lives in London, it's going to be a much happier experience. I feel like we've heard all of this before, the happy one, blah, blah, blah. Surely it's only a matter of time as when all of this will unravel.
No, yeah, and Ali's right, you know, the guy does have a certain way of working, and has he changed? He needs to have changed. He has to have learned his lessons from what happened at Chelsea and what happened at United. But this is probably his last chance for a big job. And I think if he doesn't make this one succeed and work, where does he go after this? So he probably knows that this is his last chance to make it work. He's got a team of players that are ready to win something. I think with Tottenham, it's a mentality thing rather than a quality thing. I think they've got the quality on the pitch. So he's probably looked at it and thought, this is the perfect way for him to rehabilitate his reputation, win something, and then, you know, he's only mid-50s. He's still got a chance to kind of win another Champions League if he can learn the lessons of the mistakes of his last two jobs. I think he took the United job at the wrong time. It was the wrong job at the wrong time for him, because he went there, he had Pep Guardiola across the road at Man City. He didn't have the money to invest. He had a bad squad, and I think from day one at United, he sulked. He realised that he'd made a bad choice because he couldn't compete. I think he can compete at Tottenham, not to the level he competed at Chelsea and at Real Madrid, but he can certainly deliver a trophy. And a trophy at Tottenham is success. When he went to Chelsea, he had to win the Premier League. At Tottenham, he can win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, and he's a hero.
Wait. That is not right, Mark. That is not right. Tottenham Hotspur win the Carabao Cup, and he's a hero.
Well, they won't win it this season because they've already been knocked out under Pochettino at Colchester. So,
but that's ridiculous. You can't get any Spurs fan would say they would prefer to win the Carabao Cup than say finish in the top four or make it through to the Champions League final.
Tottenham fans are desperate to win a trophy.
No, they're not. Not a Carabao Cup. Not a Carabao Cup. That's not a trophy. It doesn't count.
Well, you could argue it doesn't count, but they haven't won anything for ages. I mean, they've won two Carabao Cups this century. Any trophy is a trophy. Even Sir Alex Ferguson, towards the end at United, realised that the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, whatever you want to call it, was the launch pad for that team of Ronaldo, Rooney. They hadn't won anything for 3 or 4 years.
Dalglish got the sack. Dalglish got the sack when he won the Carabao Cup, by the way. Don't forget that.
How did that turn out?
Well, Arsenal kept winning the FA Cup. We were like, well, that's not enough for Arsene Wenger. He needs to go.
You know, and the thing is, we're talking
a big club
about...
needs to win trophies.
You know, Matt, we're talking here about, well, he can do this with this team and he can do that with this team. He's got half a team that don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. So,
Steve, you're right.
There's 4 of them that we know for 100% are going to be going out the door. That means, in order for them to be competing at the Premier League or the Champions League, if that's what Tottenham want, they're going to have to spend money to replace those players, which they don't have. How is he supposed to do more than Pochettino's done?
Listen, I don't want to be defending Mourinho here, but it feels like I am doing quite a lot. A lot of those players who want out of Tottenham wanted out under Pochettino because there's this kind of myth or element of Saint Poch. You know, he's the most likeable manager in the country. The players at Tottenham have grown tired of his approach. You know, his work, his demands. Now they're going to get a shot with Mourinho, but a lot of those players who wanted out weren't just wanting out because Tottenham weren't winning things, because they were unhappy with the coach. So a new coach might energise them, make them realise that actually they're on a good number at Tottenham, big club in London with a chance to win things. So we'll see what happens there, whether Mourinho can turn a few heads around and bring players in. I agree with you guys, Mourinho is damaged goods at the moment, but I do think, although he's damaged goods, his reputation in the past is worth giving him a crack at a big job like Tottenham. And I do think that even if he wins a trophy and it ends in tears in 2 years' time, that will be a success. And also, I think we have to remember as well, Tottenham are a club that have been, you know, unofficially for sale for 2 or 3 years. The owners want to move it on and find a buyer. If you've got Jose Mourinho in charge, you automatically become a much more appealing prospect to people with money in China, in the Middle East, in Russia perhaps, because he's a name that people recognise. So perhaps Mourinho is a key to unlocking a door to a sale at Tottenham as well.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.